I think in Manhattan, the only major obstacle is daycare, because there are not a lot of daycare facilities that my son, well, that I feel comfortable with my son going to. And so a lot of them are in-home daycares, which I don't really like because they don't really have a curriculum. It's more of a babysitting. But other than that, that was the only thing I had issues with was daycare. Right now, he's not in a daycare. He goes to his aunt, who thankfully lives in the city, so he's with family. I wish they would make it easier. They have a Stone House, which is on campus, but the deal with that is that the amount of kids that they let in is so few. Like my son right now has been on the waiting list for 2 years, and he's 2 years old. So I don't think that it's an option for all students, and it really should be. If you're a student at K-State and you're paying money, your child should be able to go to the daycare on the facility. So I think that that's something that they really need to work on, but as far as accommodation, there really hasn't been. I mean, it's your education, so you handle it. I guess for some mothers it would be easier if they had more flexible schedules. Because I know a lot of mothers would more likely like to go to school in the evening rather than the daytime, and I know that there's not a flexibility in that, which I don't know how likely that is because the bottom line is they didn't make you have kids. So, but I mean, it would help though if the schedules were more flexible. And then even sometimes the instructors just being a little more understanding that sometimes we miss class because our kids are sick. But then if we can't provide a note, then we miss out on points because there's nothing that we can show them. So I think accommodation in that area is also needed too. Yeah, one morning my son woke up with a fever and we had a quiz that day. And so I missed out on 15 participation points and the quiz that I couldn't make up because I had emailed him before class, but the rule is if you can't come with a notice or if you're not on your deathbed, then you don't get excused. So I missed 25 points basically for class because I had to take my son to the hospital. So that was, yeah, there could have been a lot more understanding, especially when I communicated what the problem was. Childcare in Manhattan is expensive, but I think childcare anywhere is expensive, but especially in Manhattan, it's horrible. And so unless you just got family that can give you the money or you're on some kind of program, even the programs, I looked into the assistance programs from the state, those really aren't good because they force you to work 30 hours. And so if you're a full-time student and you're working 30 hours, yeah, they're paying for daycare, but then how often do you really get to see your kids? Because you're in school during the day and then you got to work at night just to get the assistance. And so that's really defeats the purpose of you getting an education. And so it's kind of like you're being, I don't know, penalized for trying to go to school. And then a lot of the daycares in Manhattan, they just have long waiting lists because there's so many stipulations on who can come and who can't come. So no. I looked into all of it, and besides increasing your loans, no, there's not like a single mother scholarship, not through K-State at least. And so the only thing I could do was fill out what they call a child care cost sheet, and I turn it in. But all they're really doing is raising my loan, so that's more money for me to pay back when I graduate.